Okay, so what I was trying to show you here is that you actually want to just do the decimal points first. And sometimes you look for things that work out nicely. Do you see how 0.05 and 0.25 make 0.3?
Yeah.
And then you got another 0.3 over here. That's
Mhm.
0.6. And then you got this 0.18, that makes 0.78. Okay. And then you could do the same thing with the other numbers. You got 210, 195, 150, and 165. And like, for example, 210 and 150, those add up nicely. That's 360. 195 and 165. Okay, that's the 5 goes with the 195. So like 195 plus 5 is 200, plus the 160 gives you 360. So then you add these together and you get 720.78. Now, of
Okay.
course, you can do it where you just add them up vertically, but this is just another way to do it for you.
Okay.
When is this assignment due, by the way?
It is due tomorrow.
Okay. All right, let me go to the word problem here. We'll go to 15 next. I'm just gonna sort of go through as many as we can within reason here. All right, now another thing is you can always check your work with a calculator just to make sure you're correct, but we're going to go from here. Okay, Alan bought a box of envelopes for $2.79 and a pack of paper for $4.50. He paid with a $10 bill. How much change should he receive? So can you tell me what's going on in this problem?
You're trying to figure out how much change he receives if he paid for something that was $2.79 and $4.50, and he had $10, and you're trying to figure out how much change he received.
Right.
Out of those.
So what I like to do is actually like to add up the two numbers first. Okay, so can you do that for me? Can you add up 279 and 450?
Sure. Would it be 749?
It's 729.
729. That's what I meant. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay, now this is maybe the hardest part here is to go, you're 10 and you're subtracting 729. And I don't do it this way. I wouldn't now, but maybe you want to do it this way, but this is not the ideal way to do it.
Okay.
It's better to figure out like what you need to get to 10.
Maybe some water.
If you need to grab a quick drink, please do that.
Okay. All right, now I got it.
Okay.
All right.
So the idea here, and let's just work through it a little bit differently because I know you can subtract. If you want to get to 10, okay, you first figure out, well, how do I get this 9 to 0? Well, you add 1 to it.
Okay.
Okay. And that when you add 1 to it, that becomes 0, but there's a carry of 1. So now this 2 right here is really a 3, so that's a 7.
And that would become a 0. So 0.
So then there's another carry, so the 7 becomes an 8. And then to get to 10, it's 271. Now, the problem with this is you're not really showing your work. You're doing mental math, but that's the way, the direction you want to go when you're doing this someday.
Okay.
All right, let's look at number 16 next.
Okay.
Did you get all that down? I'm sorry, I didn't mean
Yeah,
to.
I did.
Okay. All right. All right, so let's look at number 16. So it says from a bolt of cloth measuring 25.6 yards. I actually don't know what a bolt of cloth is. Maybe ask your mom. That's kind of an old way of speaking. Tina cut a 6.8 yard piece and an 11.9 yard piece. How much material is left on the bolt? Maybe what this is referring to, I don't know if you've ever been to like Walmart, they have like the cloth on the,
Yeah.
maybe that's what's referring, I don't know. I really have no idea. But it's kind of the same deal. You got these two numbers right here. And like what you could do, here's what you could do. You could subtract 6.8 and then you could subtract 11.9. But subtraction is hard. So it would be better to take 6.8 and add it to 11.9 and then subtract it.
Okay.
So can you add up 6.8 and 11.9 for me?
Okay, sure. Would it be 1870?
18.7.
18.7.
Okay, good. So this time though, you can use that technique I showed you, but unfortunately, it's a little bit harder. It works really well when you're going to a whole number. So in the previous problem, remember we were going to like 10. That's why we could just add. You can do the same thing here, but it's better to just subtract. So as a reminder here, if the number on top is smaller than the number on the bottom, you have to borrow. So you have to borrow from the 5. And that's 16 minus 7 is 9. Borrow from the 2 because the 4 is smaller than the 8. So you got 14 minus 8 is 6. And then 1 minus 1 is 0. So since this is a word problem, and we did this in the previous one, you do have to specify the units 6.9 yards.
Okay. Okay, I've got it all done.
Okay, fantastic. So let's go to page 2 and let's look at some of these problems. This is review on page 2, but
Okay.
what I'll do is I will grab like number 12 and we can look at 12 and just talk about how to do it. One option, let me get this snipped in. Okay, one option is to try the answers. Okay,
Okay.
but that's a bad technique. Why do you think that's a bad technique?
Probably because you just like it'll take a long time.
You have to try all of them potentially. Like you might have to try F, G, H, and then J. Okay, so that's why that's not a good technique.
Okay.
And you're going to take a standardized test at some point. You don't want to do that. How do you solve this equation for W? How do you undo the number on the side with W?
You do subtraction.
Subtraction,
You like
6134.
cancel them out. So then you subtract from there.
Yeah, so I'd like you to give that a try, subtracting on the left there,
Okay.
please. And it should be one of these numbers also, so you can sort of look ahead and be like, oh yeah, there it is.
Okay. All right. Um.
By the way, do you hear anything in the background?
No.
Okay, good. There's a like a noise kind of, I don't know if you heard it. It was from the other room.
No, I don't hear anything. 409.
409, very
Or
good.
W equals 409.
409, it's the cleaner. 409 cleaner. It's a bad joke. Okay, so the let's look at now 17 since it's a word problem. Can you read that out loud for us? I'll snip it in here shortly. Maybe you don't have it in front of you. Okay.
I have it.
Okay.
Okay, 17. After spending $157, Yolanda
Yeah, Yolanda.
Yolanda had
Probably.
$241 left over. How many dollars? Why did she begin with?
Yeah. So my question to you is, does she start with more or less than $241?
She starts with more.
Yeah.
So
Now,
it'd be
now
addition.
I didn't even notice this. They give you the equation. I thought you had to write it. That's why I wanted us to look at it. But you just solve by adding 157 to both sides of the equation.
Yeah. And the answer would be 398.
That's right. Okay, let's look at one more on this page, 19. 19 does give you the equation, but they don't give you the numbers in the equation.
Okay.
And the answer is also kind of interesting here. A rectangle is 24 feet long. So sometimes it's good to draw a picture like your step 2. Oh, by the way, how did you do on your quiz?
Great.
Fantastic. Okay, and the area is 192 feet squared. What is the length of the rectangle? So they're giving you the formula. What is 24 and what is 192 in this equation?
It would be the 194 is the wait, well, it's 24 times 192.
Okay, let's read it one more time. A rectangle is 24 feet long. That's L.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so that's L.
And
And has an area of, that's A. See how they're trying to give you the answer for the variables?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, how do you solve this? What's the math step to solve this?
Division.
Division,
So,
yeah. Now, what's interesting is you probably know the answer is smaller than 192, which means it's probably 8, right? Because it's either 8 or 216. So it does equal 8. But my question to you is it feet or feet squared? And
feet squared.
So area is feet squared.
Oh yeah, it's true. So it'd
Length,
be just feet.
yes. And that's another sort of little wrinkle that they can put into this problem here. All right, let me look at actually 22. They do not give you the equation, so let's look at 22. Let me know if you need me to scroll back up for this.
No, I don't.
Okay. All right. All right, go ahead and read this problem out loud for us, please.
Okay. A plane flies an average of 325 miles per hour for 7 hours. How many miles was the flight?
Okay. So have you been on a plane before?
Yes.
Many times? Okay.
Yes. Gone all over the world.
Oh, cool. Cool. So this is actually slightly slow for an airplane.
Yeah.
Airplanes fly a little bit faster than that on average, but
it's like 600 miles an hour.
It might be in kilometers. 600 might be an overseas flight, but because they actually get better fuel economy the slower they go. But sometimes they'll tell you, especially if you're a kid, you can ask, giving it information. So in 1 hour, they go 325 miles. In 2 hours, they go double that, right?
Yeah.
Like if we were to make a table here, and this was hours and this is miles, and in 1 hour, they go 325 miles. In 2 hours, they go 650 miles, okay?
And you're trying to figure out how it would be for 7 hours.
Yeah.
What do you do? Like,
well, hang on a second. Before
7
you even,
times 325 equals.
yes, but hang on. Before you even do anything, look at the answers. 46.4, 332, 318, 2275, which is
probably
the
going to
only.
be 2275.
It has to be. The other ones aren't even reasonable.
Yeah.
Now you should do it. You should still multiply it out. But when you take a standardized test, you should not multiply it out. And I know I'm getting way ahead of myself here, but someday you will, and we'll be talking about this idea.
Okay.
Let me know when you get all this down.
All right, I have it all down.
Okay. Do you want to do 1, 2, or 3 on the third page? Simplify each expression.
I want to do 2.
Okay, will you try it out?
Sure.
You said number 2, is that right?
Yes, they did.
Okay. All right.
It would equal 1.
You got it. Very good. Okay, now let's quickly go to page 4. And let's look at number, I guess 3.
And the mode. Okay.
So do you remember what the mode is from class?
It's the number most repeated.
That's right. And there can be more than one mode.
Yeah. Like for this one, it would be 5.
Yeah, so the mode is 5. But like that second example, there could be more than one. So let's actually look at 3, 2, let's look at 6.
Okay.
You sound a little worn out. Is it the midweek kind of?
Yeah, and I didn't go to lawyer club. I went to a movie instead with it was at
Oh,
school.
cool. That's
and it was
cool.
like all these middle schoolers watching a movie and it was very loud and exhausting, but it was fun.
Yeah. If there's a quiet place, I'm there over a loud, noisy environment.
Yeah. And wouldn't this one be 0, 1, 2, and 3?
Yes, it has 4 modes. So you have to be very careful when you're counting, especially on a test when you're stressed. You know, you may want to double count. You may also find that it's helpful to like cross things out as you go to make sure that you've got it.
And like for number 4, would there be no mode?
So good question here. Let me look at number 4. Yeah, number 4 has no mode because there has to be more than one duplicate.
Seven also doesn't have a mode. No, it does actually. It has 12. It's also mode. Darn.
So I think what we'll do here, we're gonna cut it a little short here before 7. Do you want to look this over and see if there's any other problems that you think you'll have?
Well,
Questions?
definitely the second page I'm gonna have a little trouble with.
It's actually so let's go back and look at the second page. Let's go look at number 13.
Okay.
Or even like 23. Doesn't really matter. The ones we did not do all have equations. And you know how to solve all the equations.
I know how to do most of them. It's mostly the divisions that I have trouble
All
with.
right, we'll end with this one here. Okay.
Okay.
368 divided by K equals 46. So I agree. This one's a little bit odd because it's really 368 over K equals 46. Okay.
Yeah, because
But
my
to
math
solve,
teacher said there's not going to be the division symbol anymore.
yeah. So to solve this, we'll just do the shortcut here. You have to do 368 divided by 46 to get K. So let's just go with
Oh.
that for the moment. Now, this is hard, right?
Yeah.
Kind of. So here's an alternative. You can take 46 and multiply it by 6 and figure out what that is. Now, you were telling me the other night you can do 40 times 6
Yeah.
plus 6 times 6. What is that? 40 times 6 plus 6 times 6.
40 times 6 is
240.
yeah, 240 plus 36, which would be 276.
Yes, now that's too small, so we can actually cross that one out. So now what is 46 times 8? And there's a reason we skipped 7, which maybe we'll get to. So 40 times 8, what is 4 times 8?
4 times 8 is 24.
32.
32, sorry.
Put a 0 at the end. 6 times 8 is 48.
Okay, so then it would be 368.
And so there's your correct answer.
Yes. Okay.
So I know all of these on this page, they look somewhat impossible. They all have the equation. You're just going to either divide or multiply to find the answer, or add or subtract. So I think you can probably get this done in another, I'll say 20 minutes if you're really motivated. But I do have to jump off here. I just got to take a short break before my next appointment here. So, but thanks for letting me help you, August, and I'm glad you got to see a movie. I will see you next week, and we'll keep going.
All right.
All right. Have a great night. Bye now.
Bye.